Hello, everyone. Good morning. It's nice to see you again. Actually, we have some new people here. I don't know if you recognize them, but for example, over here is In. She's just moved up here from Los Angeles to be a teacher. Is that right, In? Okay. So is it the first time you're here, In?
Here, yes.
Yes, okay.
Here,
So welcome. So you'll be teaching where?
Hello. Hi, Master.
Hello.
I'm going to be teaching for a charter school called KIP.
Charter school?
Yeah, it's called KIP Heritage. It's a small one. I visited last Thursday when I came up to apartment hunt.
Okay.
It's fine.
That's great.
I teach
Okay.
8th grade math.
Okay. I'm glad that you're around. Teaching what class, or how does that work?
It's 8th grade math. I just teach math.
8th grade, like
Yeah.
you used to down
At
south?
the beginning, yeah.
Okay.
I want to say San Jose has been very nice.
San Jose is nice.
Yeah, I like it.
Good for you.
I don't miss down there that much.
You don't?
I mean, my family, but not too much.
Okay. All right.
Thank you.
I hope it works out for you. And you know, with being a teacher and teaching children, it's just like down south. It's going to be stressful as well. So definitely you need to meditate regularly as well. All right. Anyone new that we should introduce to people so that they don't feel too foreign? Okay. Well, anyway, we have some questions from last week. Apparently, we had to cut it off last week because we ran out of time. So let's hear those questions.
Test 1, 2. Okay. Were you able to hear me? Testing 1, 2. Gold Forest, were you able to hear?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, excellent. Okay, so Relax Nation asks, is sense better than thoughts?
Sense, are they better than thoughts? Okay, I will paraphrase it a little bit. The question is, sense, what's the difference between sense and thoughts? Are senses better than thoughts? I think it's a colloquial way of saying, like, I sense that he's angry. I sense that he's unhappy. I sense he's interested, and so forth. Okay, right? That's how people use the word sense. In Buddhism, it's not sense, it's awareness. Okay, in Buddhism, there are gradations. First, you have. Thank you. First, you have thoughts. Okay, thoughts is what we train to generate. We train to use them to communicate by thoughts. We communicate our thoughts. Yes, we formulate thoughts and then we communicate our thoughts. And that's how we function as a society. However, and that's what teachers do. They teach children, our children, how to think. Okay? And then next is feeling. Okay? You have typically you have thoughts and feelings. Okay? Feelings, emotions, and so forth. Okay? They're not generated by your thinking mind, which is the feeling arises. Yes or no? So far, so good. So you have thoughts and feelings. Okay, thoughts, emotions, and so forth. Okay, and those determine the nature of the balance. Determine our nature. For example, I understand from the women perspective, men are more emotional than them. So they look at us and say, men are so emotional. We are a lot more logical. No? Did I get it wrong? Excuse me. Oh, okay. Pointed the wrong direction. Men usually think of women as emotional, predominantly emotional, and less intellectual, less thinking. Yes? So that's how it's determined. Okay, that's how there's a balance between how make up so that we are how much thinking, how much is thought, how much is our emotions. So far, so good. Okay, that's the nature. That's our makeup. That's how we function. All right? And then below that, okay, below that level is what people will talk about is sense. I sense that something is wrong. I sense this anger. Okay? That seething anger underneath. That's not acknowledged. That he would not acknowledge. He's angry, but he says, "No, I'm not angry." Sounds familiar? My dad used to do that. My late dad used to do that. "No, I'm not angry. What are you talking about?" Okay? So the sense there that we use in Buddhism, we don't call it sense. The more precise term is, anyone knows? Aware, okay, very good. Who said that? Oh, excellent. But actually the Buddhist jargon is consciousness. So far, so good. The consciousness is very, very low level. It's lower than thoughts. Thoughts requires thinking. Awareness does not. So far, so good. Okay. So now we have a next level of a next layer of confusion in our mind, because our mind are constantly processing, producing thoughts. Yes, especially men. Okay, we like to think. I used to work for IBM, and those IBMers back then in my era, we put a sign up there that says, "Think." We produce by thinking. Okay, so we're proud of that. Okay, so I'm sure engineers like you and so forth, most people of you here are technical people. You think, you produce thoughts. Okay, that's how we earn our living. Okay, so you think, and then at the same time, then you have these emotions. But underneath, there is this awareness. There is this consciousness that also adding to the processing in your brains. So far, so good? Okay, so the question is is that awareness, or that consciousness, as we call it technically in Buddhism, is consciousness, because it's much more minute, it's much more subtle, and much lower level than thinking. Thinking is coarse. Thoughts are coarse. Consciousness does not require thinking, but what is consciousness? How does consciousness arise? Does anyone know? See, in Buddhism, there's a science on our makeup. Very much like the scientists in the world talk about, the DNA and so forth, how we made up and so forth. And actually, we go much lower level than that. You go to layers of thought, emotions, and consciousness. Okay, and this consciousness there, the Buddha taught it. He says, this consciousness here, how does it arise? Without thinking. How does it arise? Anyone knows? If you don't know this, how can you be a therapist? How can you be a shrink who says, you have these bad thoughts? How are we going to fix these thoughts that really harass you? Thoughts of depression, thoughts of anger, thoughts of greed, and so forth. Okay, you know those thoughts are produced in your mind. Okay, actually, before those thoughts arise. Okay, you know what happens? Would you like to know a secret? You don't? Okay. Next question. I'm hurt. My feelings are hurt. Okay? Would you like to know the secret? This is in the Shrangma Sutra, which is the Bible of meditation in Buddhism. This is our secret. Okay? Thoughts arises from feelings. For example, give me an example. Someone give me an example. You sit there and you feel hot. Right now. Anyone feeling a little bit hot? Okay, a little bit hot, right? When you feel hot, what thoughts is arising in your mind? He says, let's turn on the fan. Because that's what we have, by the way. AC is still not working, right? Oh, good Lord. You see that? So feelings, because you have feelings, thoughts arise from feelings. Now you know. So far, so good? You're not impressed. Goodness, I just gave you one of the secrets of the universe. And you say, It's so hard to make a living with you. So far, so good. So you see, feelings generate thoughts. That's what even the scientists don't even know. Isn't that amazing? They said, I want to do MRI. I want to study how the thoughts are generated in your brains. This area, the cortex, is yellow. The other is orange. The other is red. This is wonderful. Something is happening. But they don't know why. They just say, something is happening. The Buddha says it's happening because you have feelings. Isn't it fascinating? Wow, impressive. Nice glasses too. Okay? And how do feelings arise? By awareness. See that? You're aware. That's this awareness here, okay, generates feelings, which generates thoughts. You see the hierarchy? I assure you, we will not find this in the sign texts. This is the secret, because the Buddha has so much wisdom. He is so precise. He says, this is how we function as human beings. So far, so good. Okay. Awareness arises, and therefore feelings are reactions to your awareness. You got that? Because your awareness, you have certain feelings because you react to it, okay? And because the feelings you like, you don't like, you're comfortable, you're not comfortable, and so forth, the thoughts arise. I feel hungry. Anyone? No, not yet. See? The thought arises, the feeling is, I'm hungry. It's a feeling, yes? And the thought arises, let's eat something. Let's have some chicken McNuggets, and so forth. Yes? Oh, carnivores. You. Okay. So far, so good. So, and the awareness, how is awareness? How does awareness arise? Awareness arises from our contact with the outside world. That's right. You're aware that it's cold. You're aware that it's hot. Yes? That's why, because of the awareness, you say, oh, I feel hot. But people don't realize you have to be aware of the heat first before you feel hot, which then compels you to think about doing something about reacting to those feelings. So simple, and yet that's how we function. Okay? So the awareness arises because when we are in contact with the outside world, okay? I touch this. I have this, I touch this, and my awareness tells me that I feel a little bit, this metal thing here feels cool, not hot. So far, so good. I'm aware this is cool, okay? Okay, and my feeling, if I keep it long enough, I say, oh, my body is cooling down. I feel cooler. So the thought says, I like this. Okay, and that's turn on the AC. So far, so good. So what happened is that when you awake, your sensory organs, your ears, your eyes, I pointed to my eyes and I talk about ears, you see, I'm very little, low-level awareness, clearly. So your eyes, your ears, your tongue, your nose, your skin, okay, those sensory organs, those 5 sensory organs, when they come into contact with the external world, okay, you feel the cold air, okay, because of that natural awareness that comes from, technical word, next layer up, down is your Buddha nature. Generates that awareness. That's the Buddhist science behind it. Questions, comments? Yes, Red.
Nature of Buddha nature is empty. So why does it generate awareness?
The Buddha nature is not empty. The Buddha nature is just the Buddha nature.
Yes. But still there's a question of how does awareness arises from Buddha nature?
That's how we function. The Buddha nature, from the Buddha nature, that's from this Buddha nature that no one knows, okay, it's way beyond you, okay, way beyond you, way beyond me. So I have to rely back to the Buddha's words. This is way beyond us. When you become a Buddha, then you see it yourself. But until then, we have to trust someone like the Buddha, some kind of experts, like we need to trust our engineers to design a bridge for us, okay? Because it's way beyond us, right? Just like we need to depend on our teachers to teach our children math. Because we can't do that, okay? We try to, we prefer, so you see, so this Buddha nature here, from this Buddha nature arises the awareness, which creates feelings, which creates thoughts. That's the hierarchy. That's it. That's the secret of the universe. That's how we function. Okay? And it's not possible for the scientists to measure, to even conceive of this thing, this model, because they can't measure. They cannot measure awareness. Okay? Let alone trying to measure this Buddha nature, because they cannot even describe it. How can they measure something they can't even describe or are aware of? So far, so good? Okay, that's why. So anyway, so back to the original question, is sense better than thoughts? In other words, is awareness better than thought? It's not about better or worse. It's about the relationship is different, that's all. Okay? If I need to push a little bit further, would you mean that if my decision is based on awareness, is it better that my decision is based on my thinking? Does it interest you to know the answer to that? Okay, well, next question. No? Red.
Thank you, Master. So,
Yes? You interested?
Yes, actually.
Very good.
Do we cut any of those layers so we can stop thinking?
Yeah, of course. Because if you don't know, if you don't know the structure, you don't know what it is, how are you gonna destroy it? How are you gonna be able to assume control of it if you don't know what it is? Okay? Just like in the history of mankind, men has always been trying to control women. And in the history of mankind, it's a futile attempt, because no man that I know of, in the thousands or millions of years here we've been on this earth, no man has ever been able to control a single woman. True or not? This is based on history, my friend. You find out. Okay. So the Buddha described this model here of thought, feelings, awareness, a consciousness, and then Buddha nature. If you follow that model, then the Buddha says, because of these layers of confusion that you need to be aware of, if you want to discover the Buddha, real Buddha nature, Okay, there are certain ways for you to go about it so that you can go back to get down to your original Buddha nature. So actually he says, this is the model and this proof. The proof is where? The proof is you. If you follow the methodology described, okay? We call it, Buddhism, we call it Dharma door, okay? A way of practice, a way, it's like an experiment, if you will. The scientists call this experiment or analysis and so forth, okay? If you follow these procedures, you will break through all these layers of confusion and you will see in Chan, your Buddha nature, and you open your wisdom. It's cool. It's not something that In will ever be able to teach you or your children. Okay? It's our specialty, not yours. Chan is the set of methodology in Chan meditation. We have so many approaches that will help you break through all these layers of confusion. Because of that, because we know exactly we know that structure so well, so that we can prescribe the proper medicine, if you will, to fix that problem. All right? Finally, just to reiterate, it's not better or worse whether your awareness or your thinking, but in general, because of the lack of precision in terminology used by the questioner, when you meditate, you will be able to develop the skills to stop your thinking. That coarse layer on top, thoughts, you will be able to stop your thinking. Okay? Thinking, thoughts are like waves on top of the water surface, on top of a pond. So as you have many waves, the water is not clear. So you have to let the waves die down, then you can see through to the bottom of the lake. That's the analogy. So in Chan meditation, we help you still the waves. Okay? The waves are your thoughts. So we train you on how to stop those thoughts. Okay? At will. And don't worry, it's not permanent. You can say, I need to think, I need to design my structure. Okay? Then you have to think. Yeah. Don't pray. Okay? It's better to think than to pray in that case. Okay? I think in general. Okay? And you have to think. So it's like a spigot. You turn it on, you turn on your thoughts when you need to. When you don't need to, turn it off and save money. Save your energy. Does it make sense? Okay? So in Chan meditation, we teach you how to still your thoughts. Eventually, you say, that's how I turn off my thoughts. All right? It's a skill. Okay? And how do you turn your thoughts? I'll give you a clue. I'd like to know? It's very easy. It's so easy. If I tell you, you say, obviously. Meditation? you still your thought. Meditation will reduce your thoughts. You have fewer and fewer waves. Yeah? Gradually. And eventually say, that's how I turn on my thoughts. Because when you have fewer waves, you begin to see what? How the waves arise, right? How the thoughts arise. Meaning, what? Have you been listening or not? You turn off thoughts by cutting off the source. The source of thoughts is feelings. Got that? Cut off your feelings. And the thoughts will stop. So far, so good? Is it clear? So some of you who are right now second stage arhats, just in case, are there anyone who's second stage arhats, I wonder? Very good. You see that? There's some second stage arhats and they say, not me. Okay? Yeah. And the fake ones are, me. You know? The real second stage arhat, don't look at me. Who are you looking at? Okay? And that's a real second stage arhat. The ones who are saying, it's me, you know. I hate to admit it, but, you know, it's yours truly. Yeah. Okay. When you second stage arhat, you're so close already. And when you reach third stage arhat, that's when you enter samadhi, this concentration level called what? Mie, shou, ding. Okay? You know what it is? Learn Chinese. Why do you keep on looking at me? I have to give you everything? What's mie, shou, ding? Ask a Chinese. China girl.
Just a literary interpretation. Mie is distinguish, shou is feeling, ding is samadhi. So
Exactly. Excellent. Mie, shou, ding. Okay? Ding is samadhi. That's what you train to do. You train to concentrate. That's samadhi. You enter samadhi, you concentrate. Shou is feeling. The samadhi, you enter the samadhi by extinguishing all your feelings. Then no more thoughts are generated. Then you enter the samadhi. That's it. That's the secret. It's that simple. You want to have no thoughts? Just enter the samadhi called mie, shou, ding. That's it. And you say, how come my mind is still thinking? Because you're not there yet. That's a proof. But you're there. Those who are there, I'm not looking at anyone in particular. Okay? Your thoughts cannot stop. You still cannot stop your thoughts. See how scientific Buddhism is. Chan is very scientific. We know these details, this level of details. Okay, the Chan people are very knowledgeable because we verified it. Our students verified it. They say, you're right. I enter this mie, shou, ding, and what happens? I go to the YongHua's dentist, who says, open wide. Today, you're going to have a root canal. You know what a root canal is? They drill a hole in your teeth, and then they take out your nerve. Okay? They kill your tooth. And they call it root canal. It sounds so harmless, but actually it's a very brutal process. Take this drill here. It spins around like 10,000 revolutions per second, okay, per minute. And then and then they drill down your teeth. Okay? So can you imagine, I hope many of you, some of you will become dentists. So can you imagine, picture yourself being a dentist, looking down, someone that looks like the alien, in the movie Alien, you know, they open their mouth, and you have to see, you know that thing? Anyone seen that movie? Okay? It's one of the most difficult thing to face when someone opens your mouth. And that reminds me of an alien movie. So that's why early on I decided I'm not going to this kind of business profession where I need people to open their mouth for me. Oh, never mind, it's a personal thing. Anyway, and if you're in that chair and you're afraid and you are in pain, all you have to do is to enter this third arhat samadhi, pain gone. You can drill all day and you say, how much longer? My mouth is getting tired. So far, so good? Okay, it's real, folks. Okay? Some of you can do that at will. Okay? So, but don't you dare contradict me. All right. Wei Mountain has a question.
Hello, Master. I have a question. Is it a awareness is not the Buddha nature, right? The awareness comes from the Buddha nature, but it's not the Buddha nature itself.
Yes or no?
Yes or no?
Yes, to a certain kind of people, no to you. Any other questions? All right, you too, go ahead. See, that's why you want to tell him he stand up and you need to make sure he has his balance before you walk. This is an Chan thing. You make sure you stand up and you say, can I walk? Am I stable? Then you walk. Okay, otherwise you can hurt your ankle. Be careful. Okay. Next question. Pick one.
Yeah, go ahead, Wei.
Yes, Master, we want to cut off thoughts, but how do we cut off feelings?
When you get to second stage arhat, you're close to being able to cut off your feelings. Before you get to second stage arhat, you need to do certain things that I'm not at liberty to tell you, and that's a paying section. Okay? But when you get to close to second, then you can be trained or taught or shown how to do that. Okay? But for now, it's we told you, then it doesn't make sense to you. It's not something you can do. Okay? So that's why we don't talk about these things. It's about showing you how to do it, not about knowing how to do it. To know how to do it does not necessarily mean that you can do it. You see? And that's what is called, for us, false knowledge. If you know, until you think you can do it, but you cannot. That's one of the worst things you can do to yourself. It makes you more arrogant. He says, I know it all. I know it already. I know. All you have to do is stop your feelings. It's that simple. You don't want to think, just stop your feelings. What's the big deal? You know how long it takes for a typical person to get to second stage arhat? For some of you here, a lot of pain, a lot of suffering. Yes? Very good. Thank you for your confirmation. All right, you two, go ahead. Oh, I'm supposed to answer another question here. Yes, go ahead, you two.
Yeah. Jane asks, where does consciousness come from?
From your sensory organs. It's the Buddha nature. See, you have the sensory organs is from the Buddha nature. It's from your karmas. So, for example, some of us, not us, some people are blind, right? That means that they don't have the eye consciousness. They cannot see, in other words. Yes? Okay? Because the eye organs don't function properly. Why don't they function properly? The Buddha says it's the karmic retribution from the prior lives. Okay? For example, in a prior life, most of you are Asians. I can tell you the Asian version. In a prior life, you Asians were practicing Kung Fu. Okay? And you went like this. Okay? At someone's eyes. And the person goes, you can't go. And you go like this. And you poke it. And you make that person blind. And that's a karma. That now, so now you're born because of that that karmic retribution, you cannot see with this one eye yourself. Is that clear? That's why. That's how organs come about, or organs don't come about. It's for the same reason. Similarly, okay, at the bright side, in a prior life, you says, I would like to be great composer. Big composer. I want to compose music. So what happened is I give you one version of some of them, something that happened. Yeah. So now then later they're born as a human, and then they decided that I want to be. They decided, this person decided to be a composer, okay, music composer. And work about music, learn music, learn musical composition, all those things, and say, I'm pretty good at this. I would work professionally as a musical composer, okay? And in particular, this one particular person here has this ability to, he says, when I compose music, I just write. I hear music in my ears, and I just write them down. That's how he composes music. And one explanation is that he can hear the heavenly music, so that he says, oh, that's pretty good. Oh, yeah, continue, go on, okay? And then he says, I am Beethoven, composed by Beethoven. Yeah, cool? And that's karmic retributions. All right, before we run out of time, last week I was very afflicted, and because we have this question is, how come we meditate, you feel very blissful, very happy, and then it wouldn't be long, and you like it so much and you continue the meditation practice, it wouldn't be long after that until you really don't feel happy, you don't feel peaceful anymore. Why is that? And we talked about it for close to an hour, and many people throughout the universe called it to give us their interpretations of why it's the case. He said, oh, it's so obvious. Okay? It's the Buddha nature, or something like that. And I said, including all of my professional Chan teachers as well. That's why it made me so afflicted. So I gave all of them a week to do some more Google research and find out the answer, or call the Chan masters or meditation experts, or submit questions to them to get an answer. Did anyone have an answer? Blue. Oh, thank you, Lord.
Mô Phật. Dạ thưa Thầy, con nhớ lại là khi bắt đầu thiền thì Thầy có dạy một câu là phải tạo cái foundation. Nếu mà cái foundation mà nó không chắc thì mình cất cái nhà nó thấp. Còn muốn cất cái nhà càng cao thì cái foundation phải thật là vững vàng. A Di Đà Phật.
She says that she remember when I taught Chan meditation, I said when you practice Chan, like in most everything you do that's important to you, you need to do the proper foundation. Like you build a house, first you build a strong foundation, and the better the foundation, the higher you can rise. Okay, the taller the building. All right. Yeah, that's true, but it has nothing to do with why you lose your peace, why you lose. Hey, he's not screaming anymore, huh? What did you do? All right. The last time he was here, he was screaming his head off, and someone called the police, I think. Or is it for something else? Is it the same day? Different day? Okay, my mind's all jumbled. And then the police came, the fireman came, said, what did you do to this kid? He said, nothing, I swear. I didn't even touch him. Anyway, no. Anyone else? My affliction is arising again. My head is more full of thoughts. Yes. Anyone? No? For an hour, people gave me a lot of good answers. Some came close. China came pretty close. Some answers were okay. But let me tell you, I'll just give you a straight answer, okay? So that, because we're running out of time, and I'm hungry, I'm feeling hungry, okay? Which I'm thinking of quitting and ending this to resolve my hunger, okay? It's very simple. It's our nature. The reason that, first of all, the reason you feel blissful, you feel at peace, is because you enter samadhi. Okay? Or close to it. So that there's a difference. When you have fewer thoughts, you feel happier, basically. Okay? Thoughts actually are harassing you. The more you think, the more unhappy you become. Trust me. Okay? That's what people don't realize, especially IBMers. It's a bad idea to think. Think only when you must. Okay? But when you don't have to think, stop it. Okay? Our teachers, and one of them is right here, never taught us how to stop our thinking. They only taught us how to think, never taught us how to stop thinking. True or not? Guilty. Okay. So you feel better and you feel blissful and so forth. And that's true. It's a real thing. Okay. And after a while, it doesn't feel that way anymore because let me ask those of you who are married. Okay. I'm sorry, this is a little bit more adult topic. Okay. Those of you who are married, okay? When you first met your wife and got married, were you happy? Man, be smart now. You want to control them. You better learn this. Were you happy? Yes, you were happy. Thank you very much. How long did that happiness last? Don't answer this. Agree or disagree? Am I describing reality or it's just my imagination? I'm a monk, what do I know? Isn't that true? You got the analogy? Do you ask yourself, I'm asking you, how come no one ever called in and asked, Master, when I first got married, I was so happy. And then after a while, they say, yeah, I'm not as happy as before, but they don't dare admit it. Okay? How come? Yes, teacher.
Master, I heard, because two of my siblings are married, I heard you have to keep working at it. You can't just expect it to just magically be great.
You heard right, my friend. But don't your siblings ever wonder, why do you have to keep on working at it? Why can't I stay happy? It's the same kind of question. I got there, I feel happy, I feel blissful. Why does it, doesn't feel blissful anymore?
Hi, baby.
The answer is that get married. And then after a while you said, I don't feel happy anymore. Get married again. Got the answer? Got the drift? That's why. You become accustomed to it. It ceases to be a novelty to you anymore. So, find another novelty. Find another wife, my friends. All the men are all looking down. Oh my God! Wasn't I told this earlier? Sooner. Why did I try to control her? Got that? The reason you don't feel as cool, as happy, as peaceful is because now it's your norm. It's that simple. It's nothing mysterious about it. You get used to it. You get used to your wife. Now you're discovering she snores. Sorry, mom is lovable, but she snores sometimes. Okay? So all the excitement are replaced by discoveries of realities. Okay? So the question should be, how come should not be, how come I am no longer blissful and peaceful? So the question should be, how do I maintain my peacefulness? How do I experience more bliss. You see, the question is wrong. The question should be, how can I rediscover that bliss? How can I, even better yet, increase my bliss? And the answer is improve. You get to the next level, and you feel blissful and peaceful for a while, and then keep on improving, and the next, and next. That's why young men in my generation, not yours anymore, it's common for men to have several wives. Not funny, huh? No one's laughing here today. So politically correct. Okay? You see, that's why I was so afflicted last week. It's so obvious. And how come you guys are scientists, PhDs, professors, pharmacists, engineers, and so forth, geniuses, future geniuses? You don't even get this simple fact of life. And you go and build bridges that I cross, and houses that I sleep under. I'm worried about you. Okay, 2 questions. One more question, yes.
Yes, Ru Ming asks, people in my mother's hometown in Mexico and the nearby port are dying off due to COVID. A lot are bedridden right now. Are they getting hit hard because of their fear?
Yeah. The nature of the COVID is that the damage is done to most of us, to the human race. The damage done through fear, through actual physical damage. Few people will die from this, especially the strain, Delta strain. You notice the death rate is very low. And the pain and suffering from this pandemic is not from the death or the physical discomfort. The real suffering comes from the gripping fear that paralyzes you, and you go everywhere, and you don't dare go anywhere, don't dare go to work. You quit work because you don't want to get infected. So you actually are hurting yourself because of your fear. It's one of the failings of our scientists who fail to see the big picture. They don't realize this Delta strain here doesn't kill anymore. It only infects. It doesn't kill. It's the what's the first variant called? The UK variant that kills. Okay, it damages your lungs. That's what they do. Okay, but this one here is not doesn't damage your lungs as much as the other strain, but it's a lot more infectious. It's 1,000 times more infectious than the previous strain. That's why it infects you. And the previous strain rendered you so afraid already. So all this next strain it has to do is to infect you, to cause even fear. That same fear that is unresolved by the scientists and the health professionals to arise again, and therefore you feel like hitting some kind of kids. Sorry, it's just myself, my violent nature. Okay, see, it works. The threat works. Praise the Lord. You see that? So the real damage on this Delta strain here is that we hear Indian people died, and so forth. A lot of people got infected and a lot of people died. It's only because many of these people who died are in poor health. They have hidden pre-existing conditions, they say it. In contrast, for example, in many countries where the healthcare system is better, people are much better health, the death rate is very low. For example, Los Angeles, we have thousands of infections. How many people died? Less than 10. In this strain here. Before, last year, in January, you have last year, not in January. January we started mentally. In last year, you have, 1,000 people infected, you have 100 people died. That's how much more deadly the UK strain was. Okay, but this Delta strain here is not deadly at all. Okay, so the suffering again is from your fear. It's self-inflicted. Okay, that's all. Anyone else? So that's why we're not afraid of it, because if you're healthy, it's another cold. You get the flu, so what's the big deal? But some people are hospitalized, but they don't die. But some do die because of their poor health, and that's why the fear is justified out of ignorance. Okay? Yeah. For us who meditate, all we have to do is meditate, heat up our body, and heal ourselves, our body from the flu. The flu is yin invasion. Okay, these flu virus is basically yin nature. We do Chan meditation, we generate yang energy, which counteracts and destroys the yin energy. That's how you heal yourself. It's that simple. That's why we're not afraid of it. If you understand it, this whole pandemic, we've never been afraid, actually, especially our people who meditate, who do Chan meditation. So far, okay, no one has died yet, knock on wood. In our temple, no one yet. Okay? Those who got sick can be helped because we understand the process. Yeah? It's using yang to overwhelm the yin before it gets to your lungs. Okay? Okay, time to stop. Okay, thank you everyone. Okay, see you next time.